Hey man, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
First up, I gotta know, why Confucius? Are you a fan of ancient Chinese philosophy or something?
Okay, here's the thing. I was a big fan of what he did when he came to doing things for his people. The way he gives, that's just something about it that really intrigued me since I was young, and the name stuck since I was 14 years old. So
Wow.
you know how like Twitter names are like
Uh-huh.
weird as Twitter names, you know. And
Well,
then,
at least Confucius was really something with a age of it, you know. For your age, that time, using a Confucius.
Yeah, I mean, now when I think about it now, I'm like, I wish I picked something better if I could, but. It's
I mean,
fine.
Confucius drops lots of like quotes about life, and you drop bars right now. So.
That's the most the most of the correlation that between me and Confucius, I think.
But basically, just a name that stuck.
Yeah, basically just name as that man.
You know, sometimes speaking on genres, right? So it works as a marketing tool sometimes to describe a sound, but sometimes it also provides and sets up boundaries and limitations to someone.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
when we
yeah.
brand someone as just trap or cloud rap.
You're
so
right, you're right.
in your own
100%.
words, you know, how would you describe the sound of your music?
I feel like SoundCloud is the best thing that happened to the people of our age,
Mhm.
or the people that aspire to do what we want to do, because there is no such thing as limitations here. There's no such thing as right or wrong here anymore. Even back when Beethoven and stuff were doing music, there was still right and wrongs. There was still like, okay, this is the right like tempo, like 3/4, or like 4/4 or 8/4.
Yeah.
But now there's no such thing. You know, one of the hottest song on the radio, Bamboojis and Triplets.
Mm.
Yeah. That says a lot about the format that SoundCloud, I think, as a basis makes possible.
Mm.
So for myself, there is no genre in speaking of like genre. There is no genre for myself, or a box that I put myself into.
Mhm.
But I do realize that some cohesion or some cohesiveness is expected from a brand
Mm.
like Confucius.
Yep.
or Betty Do, for that instance. So that will be some cohesiveness, but when I feel I want to make alternative music and towards that kind of lane, like I showed you on Mac,
Yeah.
we
Like
do that.
Throwing some guitars.
Yes.
And that's cool as well.
Yeah, acoustic drums instead of trap drums, that kind of thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
We'll get more into that and your Bedidu in just a bit, but could you take me back to the time when you were just a child, and do you remember the very first record that you purchased?
Oh my god. Okay, this is some Nadua thing over here, right?
Try. No, if I was Nadua, I'd be taking out the very first record that you bought.
We were just talking about it on the way here, but you're Chinese, so I think you can relate to this. Tao Zhe.
Oh man, I tell you, I dropped out of Chinese school like after standard 3,
man.
so but that does ring a bell. Who's that?
His English name is David Tao.
Oh, David Tao. Okay.
Yeah, so he's one of the mainstream pop Chinese stars, that one of the first people who started making R&B rap
The
like
guy
music.
that did Just a Friend, is it?
He,
The one with the acoustic guitar.
Yes, I think so. But I bought an album called shit. I don't remember what it is, but it's another album. My favorite song from it is called Hong Lo Mong. So that's in Mandarin, by the way. So if you listen to that song, it lives in my music until today.
So from David Tao to hip hop, like how did the transition happen, or
Okay.
or is there some like subconscious
Okay,
links
okay.
between the two?
Okay. The first like this is like 2000, so I was like 3-4 years old, right? David Tao, Jay Chow, Wilbur Pan,
Wong Li Hong.
Hong Li Hong, right? These few people, you cannot forget these people, though. you know what I mean? Like you cannot. This is not just playing though. He was in Chinese school too. He's Malay. So okay. So after that, it was just a lot of like around the same music until I was like 12 or 13 when I transitioned into going to a private school.
Mm-hmm.
When I actually started to learn how to speak English, and then I started listening to English music, and I realized where all these sounds came from.
Or borrowed from. You know.
Borrowed from, exactly. We do a lot of that, like the Chinese radio and the Chinese pop culture do a lot of finessing.
Yeah.
In that sense, you know, we take what's hot in America. Oh, white people are doing, ma. Can we do?
Change the language a bit.
Use like sing in Mandarin, then you can forgive already. You know.
But you guys grew up in Subang as well, right?
Me and him, we grew up in the same place. I was 19 in Subang Jaya for close to 20 years.
Because I was about to ask you about the hip hop culture in Subang, because it is a thing, right? You know, I grew up in Subang as well, and growing up.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, like during recess time, there'll be like b-boys and stuff, and hip hop was a huge thing. And that was the same thing for Joe Flizzo as well when I talked to him. So I wanted to know whether it's the same for you during your era growing up in Subang.
I'm 20 years old, so it's not the same thing. During my era, it's shuffling.
Okay.
In recess, you know, like shuffle, you know, that's during my time. But nothing like what you or Joe Flizzo gone through, because when I was in high school, which is when a lot of people start to like experiment with this kind of things, was when the hip hop was the least relevant. It was R&B and pop music. Yeah, pop music and EDM, that kind of thing. So going to raves, that type of stuff was more cool than like dancing around and like rapping, you know, that type of thing.
So different eras.
Way different. I mean, I consider myself like not that young, but when you tell me you rap during recess, I feel like we're years apart, like, you know, like that type of thing.
So from growing up into picking up hip hop and producing and rapping and stuff, I want to know which came first. Do you pick up rapping first or producing first?
Shout out Faris. Okay, you've had Orang Melayu up here.
Yeah.
You've had Kid Sante up here.
Kid Sante as well.
You've had Airlifts up here.
Yeah.
You've had Samira up here.
Samira as well.
I've done my research too, and let me tell you something. All of these would not have been possible without Basta Melaya. I feel like that tape made it possible for a new growth of hip hop instead of what Joe Flizzo made cool.
Yep.
Which is fine, you know, in its own regard.
But it was a clear definition of the new sound.
Exactly. Yeah. There was a box. Now there's no more box. Now everybody can do everything they like, and everybody can, you know, and it's fine. Everybody Basta Melaya created such a big space that there's no possibility in competition. You know, that there is no format that you can compete in, like, you know. So because of them, I plunged back into hip hop music, thus producing trap music first. But producing definitely came first, because I was actually around to see how Basta Melaya came to be, and to see how Faris grew, the producer FRS grew as a producer. So during that time, I learned a lot about producing, but not about rapping. Just absorbed a lot of, like, you know, oh, this button does this button does that, this records, pretty much that kind of stuff. And before I knew it, the reason why they're here, this is relevant.
Maybe you can explain, like, who's with us in the studio.
Oh, sorry.
For those for our listeners that can't see.
All right, I'm sorry. You need a mic, Gles.
I think I'm good.
You need to speak. You're a shy boy. So we have in the studio Betty Du, Confucius, Repertoire, Ikhlas Manso, future God King of Fashion,
Shav, aka Kendrick,
aka the God King of Fashion as well, and doesn't know what to do with his life yet.
Sorry, can you say your name again? I think it wasn't on time.
Shav, aka Kendrick. Yeah. Pretty shy.
Yeah. So the producing came first. To answer your question, producing came first, but because there was so much lyrics floating around, we had a WhatsApp group, and we would like rapping back and forth.
Wow, like trade bars.
Yes, exactly. So it's kind of corny when I say this, but that's actually how it all started. Me and him, we were just like, hey, let's drink beer and just like do dumb shit, you know. And so we just started like trading bars to each other. Eventually, when we're not with each other, it became like, oh fuck, I want to say something right now, but I can't say anything, so I WhatsApp. And then eventually it became like, we have so much lyrics, but we're not putting it on anything. So we were all of our friends is about a year and a half ago.
Mm.
You know, Cosans is not too far from here.
Yep.
I don't know. Artisan PJ, not too far from here. We're sitting at the bench outside, and we were like, we're bored. We're college students, just finished with our classes, don't have anything to do, and we're like, okay, so we have all these lyrics. What do we do?
Mm.
I made a beat, my first beat. It sucked balls.
But everybody has to start somewhere.
Yeah.
You're right, but it sucked balls. It sucked balls. I still listen to it. We still listen to it for motivation. Yeah.
You know, there are two kinds of producers in the world, right? One that you're either a producer that finishes a beat in 15 minutes, like you know, Fox.
Yeah,
And
Fox.
He's famous for, you know, like dishing out beats and then
Yeah,
moving on
he's
to the next
crazy,
one.
he's crazy. Shout out to Fox.
On the other hand, you're either a producer that takes like 8 months trying to find that perfect snare or that perfect
Yeah,
kick drum.
yeah,
So
yeah,
which
yeah.
one are you?
Both.
Both.
Both. Because recently I've been going through a really rough patch, and it's easy to pour.
Mm.
It's easy to express. You don't think that's what happens, but when you're fine tuning, when you're really trying to like make a piece, I understand both. You know, because when you're really trying to make a piece, a snare matters that much.
Yeah.
You know, a kick, how it resonates matters that much. I get it 100%. But most of the time, I want my expression to be out there more so than I want a masterpiece.
Sometimes if it's raw, you can really feel that real emotions come through.
100%. So more time, maybe 80%, probably 80 to 90% of the time, that's what I want. But there is like probably that one time like that I really like. Okay, I want to find this snare, this kick resonates. Like that's so nice, you know. So I get both, but I'm more of a 15-minute guy.
Nice.
If it's good in
Keep
that
it
15
real.
minutes, it's fine.
And you have a group as well called Mac. Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah, 100%. Please,
Mac.
not Mackie.
Which is more guitar driven, and I think you guys even tag it as alternative rock. I think on
Yeah.
on SoundCloud.
That's a joke.
So tell me more about the group. So and how did it come about, like from your solo stuff to the group?
Right. So Confucius aside, Mac is shit. Okay, my phone's a bit fucked up. Sorry. So Mac is a group of friends that I lost touch with after high school. Some people that are really important to me, but just got lost kind of in between the way. Not that long, but a couple of months. But when we got back together, I was already making music on a daily. This was when I first started making music, so I was like, oh my god, this is so great. Like I want
New discovery.
Yeah, like new discovery. Like, oh my god, it's so great. Oh my god, this does this. Oh my god, this does that. So I was mad making music, and they're my bandmates from back in high school. So they were trying to relate to what I was doing. So at first it was just like making random songs, just playing guitar, laying drums over it, and like, oh, that sounds nice, and then we move on. But eventually, it just became, we made enough that it became apparent to us that, hey, this can be something, you know. And we really had a vibe about this when we were together, because when you listen to the entirety of Mac, I cannot say there's many songs from Confucius that can sound the same when I make it alone.
It's a vibe on its own, you know.
Yes.
It really has a vibe of three good friends coming together in the bedroom, vibing out.
100%. That is exactly what it is. So, I even if I know like that is not what a lot of people. That's not what a lot of people out there are looking for, but it's not for other people. It's
Then
for
again, people don't know what they're looking for.
You're also right. You're also right. But it's more so for us, you know. It's like, you know, like when, even if it's out on Spotify, I think I listen to it the most myself, because it's just three friends vibing in a room, and all that we write about is the reminiscence of what we've been through. So it's a really nice like photograph of high school, if you understand what how I'm putting it.
A moment in time.
Exactly, 100%. That is what it is.
What about your crew, Bedidu? Maybe you can tell me more about the members inside the group, and maybe how it started out.
Okay, so I told you how I started producing, right? Bedidu is based on who was around me at the time. So the people that were with me then are still with me now, but instead we give ourselves a name because people start calling us Confucius and Friends. after my first performance, people were like Confucius and Friends, Confucius and his friends, and I just hated that they don't get as much credit as I do, because all that I'm dishing out, a lot of what I'm dishing out is the vibe that these people give me, the support they give me, the love that they show, and I'm a huge dick. Like I'm known as like the
He is.
yeah. So I'm known as that dick in your circle. So I really come to appreciate it when people can see past that and show me support. So Bedidu personally for me was a place where I can help these people that were around me when I started what I'm doing right now get what they want.
What about the name Bedidu? Like what's the origin?
I knew you were gonna have this. I knew you were gonna.
You gotta answer it though. You gotta answer it though.
Bedidu, the word started when I was in Germany. Like, I was finding for a name for my Instagram biography, so I just created the word Bedidu. And then one day Joe was scrolling through my Instagram, and he saw my biography. My biography was Bedidu, and he liked the word.
I was just like, dude, Bedidu best. Okay, it's just like, dude, stop using this. I'm gonna take this. And that's what we're gonna call ourselves.
From then on, Bedidu.
Bedidu, because dude, when you walk everywhere and people call you Confucius and Friends, it's like, okay, I'm friends, to them, like them, they're like, okay, I'm friends. Hey, I'm friends. It's kind of awkward.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good origin of the name.
Yeah, pretty good origin,
It's the good.
The group doesn't. I just want to clear the air. The group is not a hip hop group. Neither is it a collective like Selection or Hoax. For instance, it's more so of a creative space that I want for all of us to indulge in the privilege of being creative, or the need to be creative, because Ikhlas is pursuing fashion, and this guy doesn't know what he wants yet, but he's articulate as hell.
Soon.
So yeah, soon. So Mac is also it's all just a place where it's possible, a place where maybe one day you'll find use. It's like that one empty room in your house that's always been beautiful, but you'll never use. But one day, if you start using it.
And you have been collaborating with other people as well, right? You mentioned Hoax. I think you guys had a few songs on the latest Hoax mixtape as well.
100%. Even I blew up from Pick Up the Phone. If you studied that deep, it's about a year ago.
It was on Hoax Wishes You Well, I think.
Yes, Hoax Wishes You Well. Because I made Lagu Raya, and I'm Chinese. I made Pick Up the Phone. And a couple of other songs that are not as notable, but that's where I blew up most for the kids. So Hoax, I've been around Hoax since it was in the works, since it was building the foundation and everything. So family, man, they're family. Shout out Farhan, shout out Nafa, shout out Romlaya, shout out Faris, shout out everybody over there.
And last but not least, future plans. Maybe what are your future plans in terms of music-wise? Like another mixtape or like a EP? Any exciting things to dish out?
Can't tell anyone, but
Oh, when will this be releasing?
Still in the mixing part. I really suck at mixing. I'm just make and then like, fuck, this sounds good. Okay.
Yeah, mixing tends to be you think it's easy, but then it will take a lot of your time, and then hearing the same song over and over again, it just drives you insane, right?
Yeah, it's just why can't it sound like this? But I made all these songs in the past 2 weeks ish, about 10 days.
Wow, fast worker.
It's because I'm going through a lot of emotions, so I'm just pouring, and what it is essentially it's going to be a compilation of what I've been going through, whether or not the song is by me. You understand?
Yeah.
So, more so curated by Confucius than by Confucius. So, but there's a lot of songs, 11, 12 songs, and then plus loose songs from, I made about at least 20 songs, so a lot of songs to release.
Nice. What about live performances? Any gigs to look forward to?
I got a couple, but I can't say anything about it yet because it's not up to me. But soon you'll be on my Instagram.com/CONFUCIUS_CONFU, Confucius_Confu everywhere.
Alright.
So thank you so much for having me here, man.
Thank you for coming, and I wish you all the best in terms of the music and everything else.
Oh my god, it's been so fun. Best gila doh.
Let's get it.
There, that was cool.